Welcome back, Aquarius. I've decided I'm going to redo your reading because the volume was so bad, and I don't know why, because everything seemed to me to be exactly the same. So I'm getting the hang of the technical side of this whole production, as I said in my apology in the commentaries, that I'm so sorry. It's just that I'm learning, actually, this aspect of Virtual Tarot. And welcome to Virtual Tarot. I'm Ava, the other half of Ava and Trudy is going to now be doing 6 of the star signs by herself, and I'm going to do 6 myself. So we might alternate back and forth because of medical situations that we have to be separate. So Trudy's getting better, and I thank you everyone for your sympathy and for your kind words to her. So we're doing the same cards, but I wanted to do it louder and so that's what I'm doing, because I just thought it's just not good enough for my wonderful Aquarian friends, and I have many. One of my favorite signs. So your spread has already been done, but I wanted to reiterate and even add or subtract. We'll see how it goes. Your first, oh, pardon me. For those of you, Aquarians, where you're here for the very first time, and this is your first experience of Virtual Tarot, I want to tell you that what we do here is we forecast via the tarot for each star sign for the next month. And if your rising sign is Aquarius, or your sun sign is Aquarius, or your moon sign is Aquarius, then this might be appropriate for you. We do a 4-card spread that helps us to open up various aspects of the month of April, or any month really. And the first card represents the overall energy or environment of the month of April for you, and the second is the challenge, that which you have to overcome. The third position is the unexpected, and the 4th position is the outcome. So I want to get right to it. All right. In the position of the overall energy for the month of April for you, Aquarius, is the Hierophant upright. The Hierophant is the High Priest, the complement to the High Priestess in the major arcana of the tarot deck, and it can be representative of many things, but primarily it represents tradition, structure, conservative values, having to live within the parameter of some overall organization, or having to adapt to a set of laws or rules or rituals. This is why it can often represent marriage, because marriage is an institution after all, and it certainly does have its boundaries. So for you, Aquarius, this represents, even though it's not in your challenge position, generally it's always a challenge for an Aquarian to pull in the tentacles that seek for freedom of expression, which is the characteristics, the main characteristic of an Aquarian. They're freedom lovers. They love their freedom within marriage or on the outside of marriage. They thrive on marriage, well, they do. Some of them thrive on marriage. They thrive on freedom, and they thrive on, they're humanitarians. They love people. And the Hierophant is also a position of leadership within a group. assuming a position of leadership within a group, or learning a tradition, learning something that has a historical background, has a traditional background to it. It's often maybe even going to college, you see, because that's a definitely an organized structure that has its rules, and so the entire month is colored by this adaptation, this fitting in. You have to fit in, or you have to conform to the aegis of some organization or job or family rules or something like that, where you have to adjust. But interestingly enough, you see, it is also a very deeply spiritual card, because of course this is the high priest, complement to the high priestess, and the high priest is the representative of God's laws on earth. He is theoretically to exemplify the laws of love. And some of our various priests within the many religious sects in the world don't often live up to that. It's a hard, very hard criteria. But that is also a part of the meaning of the card, is to live up to some sort of higher standard of conduct. Conduct that exemplifies love. Your challenge, you see that? Pardon me. Your challenge, there you go, is the Queen of Swords. What's the Queen of Swords? Oh, well, you're the Queen of Swords. You are the Queen of Swords. And you are, as the Queen of Swords, the intelligent, confident, almost seer-like intelligence. You are able to organize. You're an organizational master. You are also a master of bringing people together harmonically, to work together. That's why you also make excellent CEOs. You make great lawyers, because you have a keen sense of discrimination between right and wrong, and you naturally are always mentally comparing things and analyzing. But fundamentally, they love their freedom. Now, if you're a Libra, Queen of Swords, you thrive within a coupled situation, marriage, whatever partnership, you thrive in that. The other two signs, Aquarius and Gemini, are a little bit more freedom-seeking. But as an Aquarian, you are the most seeker of freedom. And so this is your challenge. What's that? To be yourself. It's not always easy to be accepted, to be applauded, to be recognized for the sterling qualities that are what is Aquarius. But it's asking you to own it, to own who you are, and to be it. There's some sort of almost, it feels like confine. You're confined by the demands of that hierophant. And so you have to learn how to live within there and find your freedom within there. There's a lot you can do within that structure to express who you are, and that's what you need to do. That's your challenge, is to really dig deep and not bemoan the fact that you have to adapt to this situation or circumstance, but that within it you can thrive as an Aquarian, as someone who is dedicated to self-expression and to their own perspective on life. You see, their unique perspective on life. That's your challenge. Then in the unexpected, we have yet another individual. That is the Queen of Pentacles. And it might be someone who is an earth sign. That would be Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. And yes, for an Aquarian, sometimes earth signs can feel a little bit as if they're dragging you down. Somehow they're like pulling your energy down, because they are so acquainted with the practical aspects of life. They want results. They want real results. They're not satisfied with schemes and ideas and hopes and dreams. They want to make it real. And unless it's made real, they really don't want to pay too much attention to it, you see. So unexpectedly, someone with this kind of, someone with their feet planted firmly on the ground, who is frugal in their way they spend money, the way they spend their time, the way they spend their emotional and psychological energy too. They're conservative in that as well. Comes into the scene during the month unexpectedly. So think to yourself who you know that might possess those qualities, or who is literally an earth sign, because they might introduce themselves into your environment. Now, the Queen of Pentacles, taken abstractly, so that we can apply it to more situations and circumstances that you might encounter, has to do again with being able to manage something on a very down-to-earth level. Being able to hold back from being too impulsive or fanciful. To take yourself out of your mind and to put yourself to a task. To apply yourself to a task, to a job. Something that physically has to be done. Manifesting something within the physical realm, and doing it step by step, practically. You know that, so you don't spend a lot of time in the realm of analysis, which, strangely enough, you see, it's your challenge to be yourself. But unexpectedly, you're faced with what might be responsibilities on a very practical level. And those responsibilities demand that plodding, step-by-step motion towards your goal, which isn't necessarily your style, but is necessary, apparently, or just an unexpected event comes in and demands from you these qualities. You have to do something. You have to see the practical, tangible manifestation of your ideas. Your challenge is to work within a structure, to be as unique and free to explore within that structure, to be yourself within that structure. And then suddenly you have to unexpectedly do something on a very, very day-to-day level. It could be, sometimes it's real estate, sometimes responsibilities of property, children, family, even, it could even be just the household management of something, you see. Now, you're a great organizer as an Aquarian. And I know a lot of Aquarians, they get things done. But they're not necessarily concerned as much with the day-to-day aspects of it. They're more interested in the overall concept of it, of whatever it is that they're engaged in. So it's like that. Now, you're very lucky because you've got a card here that is to me what an Aquarian, at least female, maybe males too, are. They celebrate life. They know how to celebrate life. 3 of Cups upright, and that is what that is. It's a celebration of something, a toast to something that has made your heart dance. These 3 women are dancing. You know that symbol of the maypole? People dancing around the maypole. It's this energy of spring, which it is spring, and that's what the whole feel of this is. It's springtime right now. In fact, it was spring just a few days ago. And it's that feeling of joy and emotional, almost excess, excess of joy and love and communion and sharing with friends, and something's worked positively. Something has happened by the end of the month that causes a great sense of wanting to go out and just celebrate the event. Whether that event is just the feeling, well, look at all that I have, all my friends, all the people around me. And Aquarians are masters of, they're the best diplomats. They are, because they have a genuine interest in the other. And I guess it's because an Aquarian has come all the way through all the signs, almost to the end, Pisces being the end. But having had every human experience and feeling, they empathize. They immediately empathize with the other. They can walk in another man's shoes. And this is about that. Being able to so empathize, so sympathize, so feel the joy of the other, that it brings cause for celebration. I'd say, my dears, dear Aquarius, that your challenge seems to be met, because I've received this card many times when I've been very worried about the outcome of something, a positive outcome of something, when it meant a lot to me. And so this to me is a sign that if you're worried about something, if there's some sort of issue that comes up during the month that you have to apply yourself to and get it done, you do get it done, and you celebrate at the end. I'd say that was it. And I hope you can hear me. I had trying to keep my voice up, and I think I've adjusted things accordingly, and so we'll see We'll see. But this is my effort to make it a little bit better for you, Aquarius. And from now on, I will try always to watch the volume and to see, to make sure that that's good before I begin. So, in closing, I would just like to say that Trudy and I do virtual tarot here free for you, but I mentioned in the other readings that sometimes it's very hard to ask for remuneration for what you do. This is free, but we need some revenue in order to keep propelled forward in this and to keep our energies resourced. So I do a 4-card spread review done in a state of meditation and almost in a state of channeling. I don't know if you know what that is, but it's a state in which you open yourself up and maybe even excuse yourself from the process by which the higher self speaks to the lower self to explain the 4-card spread in a manner that is far more spiritually evolved. We call this the Counts of Cards. And there's a link below that will allow you to subscribe to that. You can unsubscribe anytime you'd like. And what it is, we call it a spiritual counsel card, because at the end of that 4-card spread review, I also, in addition, give you another card from the major arcana, which is this sort of the spiritual branch of the tarot deck, to bring in even more of a higher perspective on an overview of what you need to deal with what comes up during the month. And that's called the counsel cards, and they're down below, and I do those. Trudy, on the other hand, is going to do the personal readings, those readings that you can direct your individual, unique circumstances to, and they are far more, what they're called is personal tarot readings, so they are very personal. And I would highly advise you to go there too if the 4-card spread doesn't do enough service for your particular needs. And so I want to thank everyone for their sympathy for my father, who had a heart attack. He's 86 and he's now returned home, and I'm trying to feed him the alkaline kitchen diet, though, you know, from my other show, I'm trying to create a show on alkaline eating, and meaning that it's a plant-based, non-hybridized diet intended to allow you to only consume foods that will heal you. And I'm trying very hard to get my father to eat like that. After 86 years of not eating like that, it's difficult, but I'm giving it a go. And I want to thank you for your sympathy. And so I will see you next month. Thank you.